As soon as I saw this Steam review of Judgment, I knew I was gonna pick it up. Hell, I picked up the Judgment Collection, which is both Judgment, the sequel, and the DLC. And I was a bit skeptical about whether it would be worth that price, because me spending $100 on video games these days is a rarity. You can hardly get me to shell out $5 for a game on Steam. Especially when I consider the Yakuza games have just never really been my kind of video game. And Judgment looked to be largely in the same vein. But I'm happy to report that I've been heavily entranced in the world of Judgment. But that's not to say that the game doesn't have its fair share of problems that I gotta criticize it for here and there. Without further ado, let's get right into the problem with Judgment. Now, first things first, if you've enjoyed the Yakuza series, you're probably gonna love Judgment. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So for those people, I think Judgment is a must-buy. But for people like me, who couldn't really get into Yakuza, I think Judgment could still be a potential purchase for you. And that's due to a couple of reasons. Judgment is similar to the Yakuza games, but different enough to where it has its own identity, even if both take place in the same universe. For one, you play as Detective Yagami, so instead of being on the Yakuza side of things, you play as an independent private investigator as you take on cases within the district of Kamurocho. 2. I find that there's a certain level of polish here within Judgment that isn't really present within the Yakuza games. Now, this could be due to me solely trying out an older Yakuza title, that being Yakuza Kiwami, but still, the animations within Judgment are super well done. Running around this fictional Tokyo district feels like I'm playing an interactive movie. There's even an animation in your office to slide between this very narrow section of the couch and the wall, and I was so shocked. Oh shit, I'm stuck. Oh wow! Oh, that was super cool. There's like an animation for him to get through here. Oh wow, I like that actually. That's because they just as easily could have forced you to go all the way around to the other side, but no, they crafted a super specific animation just for that one instance. I know that's a super weird thing to get hung up on about, but it's just a great example of the attention to detail here. Plus, the cutscenes are an absolute joy to watch, and even though I usually hate QTE, I didn't particularly mind here, because the QTE sequences are usually limited to phase transitions during boss fights, and if anything, that just got me hyped up to continue whooping that boss's ass. Okay fine, there are some chase sequences where you gotta do QTE, but hey, I like doing them, sue me. Those tailing sequences though, oh my god, tailing missions within any game are just awful, okay? But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's talk about the combat. I gotta say, you can pull off some seriously cool-ass moves in this game, and it feels as cool as it looks. For example, you can freaking do wall kicks off the wall. How cool is that? Honestly, this game became a 10 out of 10 for me as soon as the tutorial for that popped up. And on top of the combat being engaging, the game can be fairly difficult too. Sure, within regular battles, the grunts aren't going to pose much of a problem, but during boss fights? Woo, I was playing on hard, and some of those bosses will give you a run for your money. I was fighting this dude with a samurai sword, and he was just I was like, and the boss fight just felt so brutal and visceral. I could feel the hits behind my punches, and I could feel his sword slashing into me when he hit me. Still, sometimes though, it feels like the bosses should leave greater openings before the next time they go on a swinging spree, but either way, I'm a fan of having a challenge within the combat. You can pick up weapons lying around the area and use them against your enemies, and situationally execute these EX combos, either with the weapons that you pick up, or when you have the enemy in a certain position, and man, like I said, do you feel the impact when you slam that couch against the enemy while it breaks into 1,000 pieces? And the big damage is there to reflect that too. And the combat just becomes more and more freeform the more SP you earn, which are points that you can then use to learn new moves, increase your health, etc, etc. The amount of side activities you can enjoy here is staggering as well. Honestly, it kinda reminded me of Persona 5 in a way. You can play baseball, throw darts, engage in side cases, play arcade games, Virtua Fighter 2. That game can kiss my ass, by the way, holy shit. The AI knows your every move, it reads every input. Then you pick Jeffrey and just go boing, boing, boing. All these activities earn you extra SP that you can use as well to upgrade your abilities. So the game incentivizes you to actually go for these side activities with some worthwhile rewards. And while it does take a while for the game to open up and give you access to all these extra things you can do, I think it's a good thing, because it keeps you from getting overwhelmed from the overwhelming amount of stuff to do in Judgment. And because there's so many activities to enjoy in Judgment, it thereby makes the world feel more alive as a result. Running around the fictional district of Kamurocho is satisfying in and of itself because of how breathtaking the city is to take in. Running around at nighttime just makes me feel like I'm smack dab in the streets of Tokyo, slurping up ramen and beating up gang members while I'm at it. The performance on PC is also solid. I had no issues running it in about my 20 hours of playtime so far, which is more than I can say for most Japanese-made ports on PC. Looking at you, Elden Ring. Also, the English dub for this game is just mwah, chef's kiss. Obviously, this was made by a Japanese studio, and it comes through the translation at times.
Why am I bad?
Oh my god.
Why am I
Dude.
bad? Why am I bad?
Dude, can you shut up? But other than a few small, iffy translations here and there, I highly recommend playing with the English audio option, and I wish more games took an example from Judgment and put effort towards localizing Japanese games like these in the West. They definitely earn more brownie points from me by doing so, that's for sure. The one big problem I would say that I had with Judgment is the linear-ass storytelling approach the game takes. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with this if the game was just upfront about it, but being that you play as a detective and making decisions within your interrogations and detective work is key, you'd think that those decisions would actually have consequences within the storyline some way, somehow. And the game definitely gives you the illusion of allowing the player to make choices and to conduct interrogations your way, before you realize that no matter how you approach the situation or what choice you chose, things will play out the same way no matter what. It's not inherently a bad thing, because the story is done so well that I didn't really mind, but at the same time, it does leave a sour taste in your mouth when you're teased with the idea of your decisions actually mattering, and you wonder what could have been with this game. Other than that, I think Judgment is an extremely solid game and a must-buy for anyone who's into a story-driven experience. I'm really excited to see what Lost Judgment has in store for me if Judgment has pleasantly surprised me this much. With that being said, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to check out my Patreon and support me over there, as you becoming a patron is the only way I'll be able to put out videos more consistently. A big thank you to my 2 patrons that have supported me over on Patreon. You guys deserve the biggest of shoutouts. And with that out of the way, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos from your boy, or my boy Yagami's about to hit you with a kick to the face.